LST stands for Landing Ship Tank.
They were flat-bottom ships so that they could actually steam right up on the beach, land on the beach, open the doors in the bow ramp, disembark or embark tanks, trucks, troops, things of that nature.
You remember from your World War II movies how the landing ship would cruise right up to the beach and drop open the bow door? Kind of like an alligator sneaking up to the beach. In fact, they call these ships gators.
And the LST is pretty rough. It has a flat bottom. The front of the ship is only about 4 or 5 feet in the water, and the rear end of the ship is only about 10 feet, and it's flat. It's flat as a disc. And you get in rough seas, it really hits the water pretty hard. But it took us 2 days short of 2 months to go from San Diego to Vietnam. So you can imagine crossing the Pacific at 15 miles an hour.
All ships are named after something. The battleships in the old days were the biggest ships. They were named for states. Aircraft carriers were named for famous battles. LSTs were always named for counties. The early ones weren't named anything. They were just given numbers, but the latter ones were named for counties. And the Washtenaw County is the only county in the state of Michigan that had a ship named after it.
But it operated in the Mediterranean for several years, and then got homeported in Yokosuka, Japan. It was part of what they call Westpac, or Western Pacific.
My name is Tom Osmond. I was an electrician's mate 3rd class on board the Washtenaw County. My time aboard the Washtenaw County was a very eye-opening experience for me. My first exposure to Vietnam, my first exposure to extended sea duty on the way to Vietnam and the Philippines, and then on our way back to our home port in Japan after that particular tour. We hit some very rough weather trying to skirt a typhoon, and I walked out of the electric shop and looked forward. As we rode up one of the waves, the ship will actually bend 2 or 3 feet, and you can visually see the ship bend, and it was like, okay, I hope this thing doesn't break apart.
It had quite a significant role after Vietnam, and part of the Paris peace agreements with North Vietnam, the ship was filled with foam below the water, and it helped clear the harbor in Haiphong. So that crew at the time were one of the last, few Americans to leave Vietnam.
That was a volunteer crew, a very small one. Drive around until you don't hit a mine.
I also learned about the restoration effort that was being launched in 2002. And I went out to the ship and spent a week aboard the ship. It was in the very early stages, and it was sad to go on board ship and see the shape that it was in. But a lot of us had hope at that point in time that this restoration effort would take hold, get some traction, and we could move ahead with it. But unfortunately, due to various issues, the restoration project has been abandoned.
The ship is laying in the Columbia River, borders Washington State and Oregon. And it's under the custody of the Coast Guard. Basically, it's out of bounds, out of limits now. Vandals have gotten to it, and they've put water in the engine room and stuff like that. Metal has been cut up on it, and everything else is just beyond repair.
It was a heartbreaker, truthfully, to see the possibility of the ship being restored. It was, to my knowledge, the last of the 1156 class LSTs that could have been restored, and to see that go by the wayside, it's a shame, because that class of ship was really instrumental in our ability to fight the Vietnam War in the manner in which we fought it.
Some 40 years ago, this display was designated under Michigan law as a historic district. And as such, the County of Washtenaw is legally responsible for maintaining it.
Then 2004, 2005, I believe, they did some remodeling up there, and it got put in the warehouse.
The project is to take the USS Washtenaw County model and the various items from the ship out of the county warehouse here, where it's been a dry dock for several years, and sail it right into the seat of government in downtown Ann Arbor.
Well, artifacts are all the ship's ribbons, and to name them all right now I couldn't do, but it was, if not the most highly decorated ship of Vietnam.
Well, I can remember at times looking up at the metal board on the side of the bridge, taking a look at the other ships around and seeing how the Washtenaw County seemed to have more medals than most of the other ships. Was a source of pride.
Talking about your own bell, I'm talking about the other ships. Oh.
The ship's bell, which is quite significant, I'm willing to bet that bell alone weighs a good 500 pounds. And its steering wheel is from the after steering, you call it on the ship, the builder's plaque, when they build it and so forth. So they're quite historical. And a gentleman, the Navy leaguer named Bill Prince, built a model.
Having served on the ship, very accurate. First time I saw that model, it's such an accurate model. I was amazed with it. I mean, did great model.
We're having a display case that's built state-of-the-art museum quality by a company that builds display cases for the Smithsonian Institution, U.S. Marine Corps Museum, the World War II Museum in New Orleans. So we've got some craftsmen really know what they're doing.
It's going to be a four-sided display. We're going to have probably the history of the ship when it was built, its service before Vietnam, during Vietnam, after Vietnam.
Something that you Navy veterans who are grandfathers, you want to bring your grandkids down to the county building to see this display when we get it done.
Welcome home to the veterans and to the USS Washtenaw County.
First question, come aboard, sir.
We're missing Granny.
Hey, this is fun, huh? Keep pulling. Whoa!
Destined for the vestibule at first. The committee went in front of the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners meeting, and they overwhelmingly passed a resolution to have it moved in the center of the lobby.
I just think it's nice to finally see a new display case in a more visible location for a ship that I feel played a very significant role in the Vietnam War. It makes me feel good that I was able to participate and help get this display back online.
When you're out in the middle of the wide ocean, just the captain and the crew, you've got to stick together if you're going to make it to port. And that's what I've observed with my buddies on this project. Really great guys.
The general public needs to know why it is they have freedom. The story of freedom needs to be told over and over again.
And I salute all of my shipmates making the USS Washtenaw County LST-1166 the best damn gator freighter that ever sailed under the flag of the United States of America.
What's crucial to the healing from war is the recognition by the people of the country. The job of the military is to protect the country. The job of the country is to help the warrior heal.